Once upon a time, Ford was a byword for awesome performance machines. I'm going to start at the 80s because if I go any further back than that, it's going to be the longest video in the world. So we're going to start with the unruly but cool XR2, XR3i, XR4i in the 80s. Then we had the mad RS cars, the Sierra and Escort Cosworths. And more recently, Ford has stuck an ST badge on the boot of its performance cars, the Mondeo, Fiesta and Focus. And how could we forget about the legendary Focus RS? Now though, it's only really the Focus ST that's left standing. And yes, before you get all excited in the comments, we know you can still buy a Ford Puma ST, but these are automatic only these days with a 1 litre engine that delivers just 170 horsepower, way down on the original Puma ST's 200 horsepower. So this Focus for now is really the only proper European Ford hot hatch, and even this is going to the great McDonald's car park in the sky by the middle of 2025. So what is Gary from Southend going to drive now? Well, maybe he should keep hold of that, because as we'll see, that might not be such a bad thing. For starters, if Gary specifies his in the same mean green as this one, he's very much not going to lose it in a car park. Secondly, it's got a 2.3 litre turbocharged 4-cylinder engine with 280 horsepower, which, given that this car's great-granddad, the original Escort XR3i, had just 110 horsepower, seems more than enough. And thirdly, there's that thing. Yes, this is an old school 6-speed manual, and while you can get this car in an automatic, the manual shifter really suits the car's character. Mind you, between you and me, although 280 horsepower is a fair bit, if you go for the Golf GTI Club Sport, it gets 300, and a Honda Civic Type R gets 315. There's another problem with the Focus, or maybe it's more of an irritation, is that in 2021, Ford facelifted the whole Focus range, and one of the big changes was this much larger infotainment screen, into which Ford stuffed the vast majority of switches and buttons, including those for the climate control. At least those controls are visible at the bottom of the screen all the time though. Oh yeah, there's at least one physical dial left, and there are a few buttons on the steering wheel. If you want more than that, you'll have to go for the pre-2021 facelift model. Other than that, the interior is overall generally very Ford, and by very Ford, I mean it's great in its design, reasonable space, but not particularly premium. What's more, these front seats are no longer made by Recaro, which I was actually a little bit sad about, because Ford and Recaro have been like that for decades. But Ford is confident in its in-house design capabilities, and the seats are comfortable and supportive, which is what you want from a performance car. There are plenty of gadgets to keep you entertained and comfortable too, including heated electrically adjustable seats, a wireless phone charger, a heated windscreen, a reversing camera, built-in sat-nav, and Apple CarPlay or Android Auto connectivity. The entertainment factor is perhaps a little bit less impressive in the rear seats. There's a decent amount of space though, although that is a little bit of trickery because this rear seat squab is a little on the short side. So if you are 6 foot tall, you might find that there's a little bit of a lack of support here. There is, however, for me at 5'4.5", enough support and plenty of leg room and plenty of headroom. Even if you're 6 foot tall, I think you'll be just about okay. Now, excuse the noise of the paper. I'm trying to be kind to the Motorpoint valeters and not bring back a hugely muddy car after filming it in a muddy woodland car park. If you would like to use devices in the back or charge your phone, then there are 2 USB sockets down there. And if you still carry a map or you need somewhere to put your colouring in book, then there's space for those as well. In the back there are 2 sets of Isofix, which is very handy for people who have children and car seats. As is the size of this boot. It is decent enough at 370 litres. Underneath here, there's space for bananas, and if you need to tether your bananas down because of enthusiastic driving, then you'll find those just there that will come in useful. More information on the regular Focus can be found here. Right now, I'd like to do some driving. Come with me. What you really want to do in a Focus ST is find some corners, because when you do, it is ever so much fun. There is plenty of grip and the steering feels beefy and meaty. And if you put it into sport mode or track mode, not only do you get a delightful red surround on the dials, but it tightens up the differential. And I'm just about to go into a 30, so I can't test it here. I'm going to turn around and show you what it's like. And while I do, you can just listen to it. This car's going to make you grin from ear to ear. There's a lot to like about it. And when you are turning around, if you're getting ever so close to stalling, then it does a little blip of the throttle automatically, and that's quite pleasing as well. And there's a little exhaust bang too. You know what? If you wanted a practical family car that's also really good on performance, this is going to be a winner. Okay, now I've got it in sport and track mode, and it's tightened up that differential, and it feels even more satisfying to drive. My cameraman now feels a bit sick. The really clever trick the ST pulls off though is that the ride is not so race car firm. It's well controlled, sure, and you wouldn't call it limousine-like, but it's comfortable and civilised. This is a car that won't tire you out after 50 miles. And when you really open it up, it sounds really good, although not quite as good as the 5-cylinder cars from the late 2000s. Another compliment I'm going to give this car is the gearbox. It is short and slick, and it's very satisfying to change gear in this car. I just love the noises coming out of the exhaust. Okay, so you won't be going as ballistically fast as you might in some other hot hatches, with 0 to 60 taking a relatively leisurely 5.7 seconds, but you do feel much more involved in the whole process than you would in, say, a fast EV or a Golf R. And if you would like to unleash your inner driving god and go and do some track days, then we highly recommend the Track Pack, because what that adds is adjustable suspension and bigger brakes. Now, while the standard brakes are very good and definitely excellent for the road, if you do some track days, you might find that you get a little bit of brake fade. So the bigger brakes on the Track Pack are well recommended. Away from the track, where you obviously wouldn't be getting very good fuel economy at all, you still won't be getting brilliant fuel economy. Official numbers say 35.3 mpg, but real world experience suggests you'll be seeing more like high 20s mpg, which isn't brilliant, but is kind of what you might expect from this type of car. With cars like the Hyundai i30N and the BMW 128Ti no longer available, the hot hatch is an endangered species, and with no replacement on the horizon for the Focus ST, that is probably going to join that list too. So, should you buy one? Yes, you should. It may not be perfect. There are better made, faster, more hardcore alternatives, but as an all-rounder, it is still pretty compelling. And if your name's Gary and you live in Southend, you don't have a choice, do you? And if your name is Gary and you do live in Southend, please say hello in the comments, because I am talking to you.